Thank you. As former politicians, Howard-Dean and I love these rallies. It makes us feel like we're back on the stump. But we're actually in the midst of another campaign. And it's probably the most important campaign that anybody can be part of in their lives. It's not a Democrat or Republican campaign. It's a campaign for human rights. It's a campaign to save innocent lives. And it's a campaign that's unified all of you in all of these many conferences that you've hosted and all of the distinguished guests that you've received. But the time for talking is running out. The time for action is upon us. We have seen too many times where we've seen what happens when you look the other way, only to see what you thought was going to happen. We have had too many examples of how indifference has cost lives. And this morning we are going to focus on making sure that we recognize the pattern so that we don't fall victim of repeating the same mistakes again. This morning we heard disturbing news from the UN Assistant Mission for Iraq, Martin Kobler. Martin Kobler made a pronouncement today. He told the residents of Camp Ashraf that they must accept Iraq's rule, that all of them need to be relocated to unknown locations without letting the UN High Commissioner on Refugees continue with his mission to interview and identify them as refugees. This perverts the very mission of the UN. It's disturbing for the United States, who guaranteed the protection of these residents and who is about to welcome the leader of Iraq at the White House on December 12th. So this morning you will hear from distinguished individuals about U.S. public policy and what is on the line with Nouri al-Maliki's visit to the White House on December 12th. It is not simply a head of state visiting our president, but it could carry the weight of the world's view of what kind of country the United States intends to be in the future. If what we see happen on December 12th and after to be nothing more than a repeat of what we saw in July when former Secretary Gates met with Nouri al-Maliki on the 27th, only to see the next day and the day after a brutal attack in 2009 on the people of Camp Ashraf. Iraq certainly knew what it was doing. Nouri al-Maliki knew he was using the imprimatur of his meeting with Secretary Gates as a cover for his intention to massacre the people of Camp Ashraf the next day, knowing that it would give him impunity to have just met with the U.S. Secretary of Defense before doing so. And if that wasn't enough, he met with them again on April 7th, 2011. And we all know what happened on April 8th. Are we going to see a repeat when Nouri al-Maliki comes to the White House on December 12th and then returns to Iraq to slaughter innocent people in a humanitarian refugee camp, using his meeting with the President of the United States to give him cover for what he intends to do. And let there be made no mistake about what Nouri al-Maliki and the Iraq government has said is their intention. The policy of Iraq is clear.